Hey guys, Brian Stevens here with Mortgage Shots. If you'd like to learn more about jumping on my team over at the Loan Factory, and what we're doing is actually kind of unique. We're CB Loans inside the Loan Factory. Just send me a comment or a direct message, instant message, anything you'd like, and we could get you involved with our marketing, our coaching, and our origination business, where our rates and our tech is next to nobody. Has no peers, as they say. Listen, I think we all know what to do. Then why don't we do it? With our business, we went through the whole process of getting our test and getting licensed, but when it comes down to it, we inexplicably won't do the things that we need to do. Everybody knows we need to pick up our phone. Everybody knows we need to sit down and really dial in with certain technologies that are going to enhance our ability to give an experience to one of our clients and to communicate our messages directly with our referral partners and our clients, and yet we just don't do it. I'm kind of wondering why that is the case, and it's something I want to go over today because I've got graphs, and more graphs, and some of these are going to be very illuminating in terms of where the market is at right now and the direction the market is going. And I think you know where I'm telling you the market is going. We are going to see the drops, the likes of which were not seen in 2008. And so there's nothing wrong with that. You just have to be able to prepare for, the storm that's in front of us. So let's jump into this right now and let's see exactly what we're talking about. Okay. Here's a pretty interesting one that you probably haven't thought about on the left-hand side. It says the hours that you need to work to escape from poverty. So these are different first world countries. And how long you have to work per week in order to not be in poverty. In Japan, you only need to work 14 hours a week. I want to move to Japan. Turkey is 22. The UK is 23. France is 25. We start getting around 40 hours a week in like Lithuania, Slovakia, and Slovenia, and the Czech Republic. That's kind of what we think. If you work a 40-hour week in this country, you should be able to not be stuck in poverty, right? But look where we're at, 80 hours a week. I bring this up because we already know that the median price to buy a house is well north of 400. It's starting to push 500,000. And if your average person needs to work 80 hours a week just to escape poverty, what are the opportunities for them to actually buy a house, to get financing? And the truth is, it's not even slim and none. It's just none. And we know this because we've killed off the first-time home buyer. And I haven't used this analogy in years, but when you think about the first-time home buyer, it's the whole circle of life thing. You got to have the krill because the shrimp eat the krill. And then the small fish eats the shrimp. And then the bigger fish eats the small fish. Then the shark eats the, you understand how the food chain works here. It's kind of like that. And in our industry, when you get rid of the entry-level buyer, then you don't have the move-up buyer. If you don't have the move-up buyer, you don't have the double move-up buyer. If you don't have that, you don't have people buying the high-end houses. Yeah, in our strange anomaly of a market, we kind of do have that. And we have it because people have invested heavily in the stock market, which is wildly, wildly overvalued right now. And people are shorting the stock market left and right. I'm talking your big institutional investors that everybody recognizes as if they had their own baseball cards. The Bill Akers of the world. Who are they shorting? They're shorting the likes of artificial intelligence. A whole bunch of that going on. And other stocks that are in for a rude awakening, which would be a massive correction. Of course, that massive correction is going to have further impacts on the housing market, exacerbating the problems that we're currently facing. That would be for some, those who own houses. I would tell my clients right now, like, if you know you have to move, you want to sell your house today before this thing becomes a shit show in 6 or 12 months. I would say, all right, we know the trajectory is real estate always goes up. We might be in a lull right now. But if you're waiting to get more money for your house right now, and that seemes to be the sentiment of sellers, you're going to be waiting for a long time because property values are going to go down in a big way before they go back up. And I mean, for me, that just means more of my buyers can buy houses. And that means, and if we get our housing expense under control, maybe we don't have to work 80 hours a week in order to live and escape poverty. Because mind you, part of that 80 hours a week that an American has to work right now is to cover these outrageous housing expenses, both in rent and in mortgages that we have to pay. So yes, we are so so close to, and in a lot of markets right now, we are starting to see some of these corrections taking place. Just adjust your sales accordingly as a real estate agent or a loan officer. If you go on any listing presentations, let them know we are in declining markets right now. We're dropping a percentage or a few percentage every single month. And if we hit this tipping point like we did back in 2008, you're just going to see the shit hit the fan in about a week or a 2-week period. It is that one domino that sends all the other dominoes cascading down in every different direction. But yeah, pretty shocking, isn't it? We have to work nearly twice as much as somebody in Luxembourg or the Czech Republic or Slovenia in order to escape poverty. So as a loan officer, what do you need to do? You need to set your goals. SMART goals, specific goals, measurable goals, achievable goals, relevant goals, time-bound goals. These are really good charts over here. And if you send me an instant message or a direct message, or if you go and send me a message on Mortgage Shots, just go to mortgageshots.com and go ahead and subscribe to it. And we'll go ahead and get some of these graphs over to you. It's a lot of stuff that you already know in terms of goal setting. But in the market that we're going into, being organized in terms of what you do and understanding why you're doing what you're doing is wildly important. I see so many loan officers right now and real estate agents who are looking to get fed. And there's a difference. You need to learn how to farm. You don't need to be fed. Give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach him how to fish, he'll eat forever. Right now, I see a lot of folks saying, hey, listen, I joined this company because they're going to give me leads. Nobody's going to give you shit. You know, they might have you process the lead if they feel like, if there's a value to you as a loan officer calling the clients and calling the real estate agents up because, I don't know, whoever's generating these leads don't want to do it. But nobody is in the business of leaving money on the table. You have to understand that. And beyond going out there and paying you the bare minimum that you could get paid in order to get these deals or to get you in the door in the front place by giving you leads is not a long-term viable, sustainable market. It never has been. It never will be. That's being fed. Do you want to be fed or do you want to farm? Farming is where you need to be and setting goals and sticking to those goals. The hard goals, the SMART goals, the whoop goals, the clear goals, and the OKers are things that you need to look at because it is a reminder for us to be better at what we do. This is pretty cool from the 1950s. Ways to get a dopamine hit. For you ladies, the number one way for you to get a dopamine hit is to get out that vacuum and go vacuum your house. Hoover your home. Isn't that something? Ladies, cook some food. Watch the sunrise. Visit the bookstore. Take the stairs. It's interesting how they put these out there, isn't it? How many of these apply to our industry? That's kind of what I was looking at here. Like what in here, where do we get a dopamine hit? You know, I have Suzanne Peters, one of my realtors I work with, who's just a dear. She's like, every now and then everyone needs a win. Play on, listen to, focus, sell. Yeah, selling. Declutter. Declutter your mind. Decluttering doesn't need to be a physical activity. It can be an intellectual activity. Work. Learn something new. Do something. Kind of interesting, a little dated. How about this one? Loan officers and real estate agents. Do you know everything that's on your paycheck and what it stands for? As a new loan officer, you might want to take a close look at this one. We have our deductions over there. Your gross earnings minus your deductions equal your net earning. What's your gross? What your net? Of course, we qualify people on their net earnings, their gross earnings, which is kind of ridiculous because that's not the amount of money that they take home. Have you thought about that? We actually qualify people on their gross earnings, albeit they're going to have a number of different things coming out. We can look at our deductions over on the right-hand side, the federal withholdings, the FICA withholdings, Medicare withholdings, California state, God vomit, withholdings, another California state DI withholding, 401k withholdings. There's an enormous amount of holdings that come out of our check. In this scenario, somebody grossed 774, that's what we qualify you on, but you're bringing home 560. The difference in there is a little over $200 or about 25% of the check. Hardly seems something that we should qualify on. How credit cards work. Did you know this? You got your bank, your hologram, your 3D image to stop counterfeiters. You got who your payment network is. They're the ones who are facilitating all this. You have your check digit, which are the very last ones. That would be like your account number on your credit card. That would be like your account number on your checks. Remember those? You have your magnetic strip there. We know what that's for. Validation dates. The third set of numbers over there identifies your personal bank and account of your card. We already know what the CVV, that's generally on the back of the card. The first 4 and 8 digits identifies your bank number and the payment network that you're using. Your payment network is also conveniently located up in your right upper hand corner. What about our deep work routine? God, I'm just tongue-tied today. What about your deep work routine? Checklist to protect your focus and get more done. You want to prioritize. Aha. Think about it. Have you actually written it down? Protect your time. Man, ain't that a big one. Find your space. You go to the gym to work out. You go to the library to study. So you got to go to an office to find your space to work. Prepare. Get the shit you need to do so you won't be interrupted. Put your phone away. Ooh, that's going to be a hard one. Shut your apps. Hard to do if you don't have your phone with you. Get a pen and paper. Use your headphones. Clear your mind. Use a timer. It's a Japanese method of studying and getting work done is where you will work for an increment 15, 20 minutes, take 5 minutes off, walk around, work 15, 20 minutes. So you short spurt these things. And what they've discovered is you get a ton more done. So using your timer and staying on target is a great way to do it. It's also good for time blocking. Improve when you're finished, reflect on what happened. And nail the basics, which is make sure you're eating the right food. You ever have to think about that? What you drink, what you eat, and how much you sleep, and what type of effect that has on you. And listen, you go have cocktails at lunch and you can show up buzzed. What would you rather have, a buzzed worker or a hungover worker? Neither one are terribly good. Strategic thinking. Long-term mindset. Set 3 to 5 year goals. You want to make $500,000 a year? You can do it. You got to set that long-term mindset, and then you got to go out there and say, I'm going to be a badass. You got to work your ass off. Order thinking. And then win what? Look at the trade-offs. Map out possible second orders and third order effects. Use scenario planning to explore different futures. How do I get about it? I better put this before that. If I do, X will happen. If I put that before this, Y will happen. Number 3, Number 3, synthesis. I told you I'm tongue-tied today. Connect the dots between sources and form a point of view on this. Look for contradictions and common threads. You ever do that? Like, I look at people, I run into somebody on the pickleball court, I run into that same person at my coffee shop on different days at different hours. And then I actually saw that person at a meeting that I go to, and I'm like, so me and this other person, we converge at 3 different spots at 3 different times on any given day, so we kind of follow the same path. Should we be connecting the dots on that? If you run into somebody 3 times in the course of a day, that means you guys are doing something similar, and that's a person you should introduce yourself to. Storytelling, write clear and persuasive narratives. Oh man, I do this every single day. Do I have it with me? I don't know if I do. Every single day, I sit down and write. Here we go. Decision making. Use logic and reasoning to make good decisions. Yeah, we get it. Again, if you guys want these to look at them, then I'd certainly go ahead and get it over to you. And why do we need to be more organized and have a clear plan of attack in terms of what we're doing? Here's the reason. And I said this yesterday. Wendy's company, their stocks is in the tank right now. This is bad news for us. Well, I don't really care what happens with Wendy's. I don't really care what happens with Wendy's either. But the thing is, if people are concerned about buying a $10 sandwich or their extra value meal, $4, nuggets or whatever the hell they have over there, if they are looking at that, what do you think they're thinking about mortgage interest rates? How do you think they're feeling about car payments and every other bill? It's like the old saying goes, and I said yesterday, if you take care of the pennies, the dimes, nickels, and dollars will take care of themselves. Okay? And right now, people are not going to the likes of the simplest form of personal indulgence, which is fast food. It is a plague of this country that's killing people, but it's also an epidemic of sorts that almost everybody participates with. And right now, people are saying, even the cheapest of food, the fastest of food right now, I need to rein in my belt right now because things are tough. This, my friends, is a canary in the coal mine for other things to come. Jobs postings. Does anything stick out to you? If we go back to 2024, we can see where our jobs postings were, and we can see where our jobs postings are right now. People are not hiring because people aren't going out to eat. People aren't hiring because people aren't going and getting hotels. People aren't hiring because people aren't flying. People aren't going on vacations. People aren't improving their houses right now. People are tightening their belts up as we speak. And as a result, our hiring has fallen off a cliff, which is never good for housing. Consumer sentiment, all consumers and independents only, where are we at right now? Consumer sentiment, my friends, according to the University of Michigan's November 7th, 2025 study, is off a cliff. People do not feel good about their lot in life right now and their ability to go out and buy and do the things that they want to do. Where does housing fit into that? If I can't afford Wendy's and I can't afford my car and my credit cards are through the roof and I can't afford whatever it is, do you think I'm thinking about buying a house and taking on more debt? And the answer is emphatically no. Layoffs for any October, the highest since 2003. What happened in 2003? That was right before the subprime surge. And we decided we need to kickstart everything. What's the best way to do it? Go through housing. Let's start offering subprime loans. Let's infuse money into the economy. Let's make equity grow. Let's have people tap into it. Let's have people put pools in. Let's go buy, toy haulers and wave runners and Sea-Doos and quad runners and all this shit you don't need. And we did from 2003 on, and employment, the numbers went down. Once again, we are seeing the highest layoffs we've seen, and we are not seeing these employers go back through and bringing new people on. They are hiring because they're downsizing. They're downsizing and they're not looking for new jobs. Not good for a recession, but maybe the most compelling graph that you're going to see is this one. Again, sometimes you just have to take a step back and look at things. So this is a graph that goes back to the year 1960. And look at down in the purple at the bottom. This is almost like a hopscotch board, isn't it? Recession, 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 recession. Oop, big period, recession, big recession. Now, even a bigger period, little recession, that would be COVID. So what is coming here? Just look at this graph. This graph is going out 80 years. And it's almost like a clock. You can predict when a recession is going to come. Forget how the recessions happen. They're all different. But there's very much a pattern here that is undeniable. We would be hard-pressed not to see a recession, if not this year, then next year or the following year. And truth be told, we'd be better off having this damn recession now so we can get it out of the way. Now, what we can see that happens with all these recessions and these giant mountains across the bottom is we see our recession goes up, and then we see affordability comes screaming back down. Look at where we're at now. We are at a higher peak now than we've ever been. Look at recession, 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 recession. These peaks are so high, they're not even on the graph anymore. So what goes up high comes down high. Notice that every one of these peaks is followed by a period of affordability that almost matches exactly. Look at little, 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 bigger, bigger, little, little, bigger, bigger, down, up, down, up, down, way in the hell up. Values, way in the hell down. Look at this one. Straight up. Holy crap. And now, we're here. What's going to take place, guys? We are seeing ups and downs that are more pronounced over shorter periods of time than we ever have in the past 80 years when it comes to our Piper-Sandler's recession indicator. The chances of a recession happening over the next 12 months, according to the Piper-Sandler recession indicator, it's really a formality at this point. If it's not going to happen, it already has started because these things are always told to us retrospectively. That means housing is going to become more affordable. A good thing for lenders and realtors because that means more listings, more buyers, and we start to defib the heartbeat of America's economy, and it always happens through housing. So it matters what you do, so go out there and kick the living shit out of this. I hope these help. But again, if you want my graphs, you want any of my presentations, go ahead and put it in the comments down below or give me, hold on. Or give me a call.